Hello and welcome. I'm Natalie from the Fertility Podcast, which is a weekly podcast speaking to experts and men and women about their struggles to conceive. And the aim is to empower you with information that you need on your journey, whether you're starting or completing your family. Now, I'm delighted to welcome Naava Carmen, who is the host, the founder of the Fertility Support Company, as part of this series of the Ultimate Fertility Guide videos. Now, the Ultimate Fertility Guide is a resource where I've tried to group all areas of the fertility industry into one place. So if you're listening to the podcast and wondering what to do next, you can have a look at the guide where there's all sorts of brilliant people like Naava who are giving you their expert advice in a video. So as well as listening, you can watch as well. So Naava, welcome to the podcast. Naava, welcome to this video. I have to get used to the fact that we can actually see each other rather than when I'm used to hiding behind a microphone. Now, Naava is a fertility acupuncturist, and we're going to be talking about the benefits of acupuncture when you are trying to conceive. How are you, Naava?
Hey, Natalie, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
It's so nice to be able to see you. We were just talking about having a bit of kind of glass competition going on there. Geek chic, exactly. Let's start by just highlighting how somebody can make sure that they are in safe hands when they're thinking about having acupuncture as part of their fertility.
I'm slightly obsessed with this topic, so I really appreciate having a forum to actually vent my obsession. At the moment, we're one of the only countries in the world that don't regulate acupuncture. Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, all regulated professions. But ours is not. It's a voluntary regulation. So the first thing I always say to people to make sure they're going to see a member of the British Acupuncture Council, because there's some accountability, there's a level of training there, there's an adherence to guidelines, some small commitment to professional development. But what's really important to my mind is to talk to the person you're going to see about fertility and ask them lots of questions. And for me, a fertility acupuncturist should be someone who really understands all the Western medicine side of it and the Chinese medicine sides of it and knows how to integrate those two things together. So you get a really holistic, supportive approach. And most importantly, one that is targeted so it doesn't go on forever.
So if people are kind of looking online, trying to find people, are there certain qualifications or training that they should be able to see what the people are explaining that they've done? I mean, you just mentioned some of it.
There isn't anything out there that's particularly official at the moment. There are certain people whose names are actually, it's part of the problem of being unregulated, there are some people whose names, who are very prominent, whose names are available to purchase, which is a really important distinction to make. But there's no official training, which is something that I've been working on myself in the last 18 months.
So let's talk more about the kind of training that you're putting out there to try and get this body of properly trained fertility acupuncturists. So if people are looking into it, it's not just going to be fobbed off by their doctor or their GP as something that isn't proven. What kind of training are you doing with people?
So my training is a diploma and it's 5 modules and it covers comprehensively reproductive immunology. So all the autoimmune conditions that may be contributing to unexplained infertility, recurrent miscarriage, multiple failed IVF cycles, for example, a whole module on treating through IVF, IUI, and understanding all of the procedures that go into that, a module on treating polycystic ovaries and hyperstimulation, a module on treating complex diseases of pregnancy, so things that you wouldn't normally see, so not morning sickness, but for example, sickness that goes on all day throughout pregnancy, issues of skin problems in pregnancy, complex pain in pregnancy, and then finally a module on marketing, which I think is really important for practitioners so they really understand the importance of customer service. And once they've done all the modules, they're eligible for the logo that I give them. And what's really important is that logo is renewable, not on payment to me, but on evidence of continuing high quality professional development. Because what's really important to me is that we continue to invest in ourselves and our skills as practitioners so we can continue to give our patients the best thing we could possibly offer them.
Because I do know that it frustrates you, the kind of the bad reputation that sometimes is around acupuncture, or the incorrect perception that people have of it as being a valid addition when people are trying to conceive, don't you?
It does frustrate me. And all too often, we are at the end of that process rather than the beginning. When I get to see clients from the beginning, we can often circumnavigate or circumvent or avoid all of the hardcore treatment they may otherwise have needed because we have this amazing holistic way of treating these clients.
Well, let's talk about that, because if people are looking at this to understand how acupuncture can help them when trying to conceive, you've talked about coming at the early stages. We're very aware in this age of there being less funding available for fertility treatment, that every cost that has to be spent really has to be justified. But I think it's really important for people to understand how acupuncture can benefit them when they are trying to conceive.
Well, the first thing to explain is that we need about 3 cycles with a woman. It's really important to say that it takes 3 cycles for a follicle to be recruited, matured, ovulated, and it takes those 3 cycles for us to completely change the environment into which those eggs are coming, and therefore get a chance to change what the outcome is. So for example, I had a lady who had 3 cycles, and all of them had resulted in immature eggs when they were recruited, taken out. And then we had 3 months to work together, and her next cycle, every single egg was mature and able to be fertilized. So we need the time to put in to make a difference, whether it then goes on to be a natural conception or whether it then goes on to be some sort of artificial reproductive technique. And I can certainly tell you, in this last year of seeing clients, and I've been in practice almost 20 years now, every single client who has gone through that 3-month prep with me has conceived first time with any ART they've done. And there's a fantastic study by a woman called Lee Helenda Rubin that's come out in America, a comprehensive analysis of tailored acupuncture and Chinese medicine, which is included herbal medicine. I'm a herbalist too, but tailored Chinese medicine to the client, and then the outcome not only of successful pregnancy but live birth and lack of miscarriage, and the difference is huge. So if you take away nothing other than the 3-month prep for whatever you're going to do is key, then that's a really important message to give.
Well, I'll make sure that people can access a link to you, your company. Tell us some of your socials that people can follow you on.
I'm at Fertility Support on Twitter, the Fertility Support Company on Facebook.
And what about Instagram? Because we love a bit of Instagram.
We do also at Fertility Support.
All right.
Nice and easy.
Naava, thanks for your time. And like I say, we'll put all the details below of how you can get in touch with Naava, just in case you didn't catch what she just said. And you can get in touch to ask more questions and see about taking up that treatment. And I think it's really good for people to understand that they just really need to have the conversation with someone like yourself about the benefits before they rule it out.
Yeah, and any of the practitioners who are now on my website who've done my diploma, I have downloaded the contents of my head into their head. So these already amazing practitioners have just got that extra layer of expertise, because you have to be in practice for 5 years to train with me. So anyone who goes on my website, is a really good person to see.
All right. And of course, to find out more about Naava and how you can contact her, you can visit theultimatefertilityguide.com, where you can re-watch this video as well as on our YouTube channel.